What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, very quickly, before I go ahead and hop into this commentary, just want to remind you all that once again, there will be no stream for today over on the Twitch channel. But we'll be back up and running tomorrow, prepping for the launch of Call of Duty Vanguard. So if you would like to go ahead and stop by and show some love, make sure to go down in the description of this video and drop a follow over on my Twitch channel. We're usually grinding on an everyday basis. But today, I have some Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. Gotta say, I got stomped out in the beginning because once again, just like any other typical Call of Duty game, people go ahead and choose to play domination and then decide to not play the flags. It makes absolutely no sense. But eventually, I finally snuck my way around and kept B flag, allowing me to have more central control of the map. But the reason I'm showing Modern Warfare 3 gameplay is because today we'll be talking, once again, about the next Infinity Ward title coming out in 2022, rumored to be called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Sadly, I couldn't sit through that much Modern Warfare 2019, so Modern Warfare 3 was the next best thing to show off for the topic of this video. I know that Vanguard is less than a week away, but the news that has been released is actually really damn cool, or else I wouldn't be putting aside 3 hours of my time to go ahead and cook up this video about it, you know? One last thing before we dive in as well, I always have to put a disclaimer in front of all my videos, or else people will constantly accuse me of false advertising, or, false information. Everything that is said in this video are leaks and rumors coming from a very reliable source. Also, all my videos are completely opinion-based, so for the love of God, take a chill pill and enjoy the commentary. Some of you guys have way too much time on your hands, and it shows in the comments section, I'll tell you that much. But with that being said, let's get straight into the commentary. Over on Twitter, and like I always say, you are highly missing out if you don't follow me over on there yet. Make sure to check out all those links in the description. But Okami, a very reliable news source for anything revolving around Call of Duty, has posted some leaked information coming from another Twitter account. The account's name is Ralph's Valve. I've never heard of him before, but if Okami is willing to put his reputation on this rumored information, then in my opinion, it's definitely something worthy to speak about. Now, I'm going to read off Okami's tweet first, and then we'll move over to Ralph's page and cover every last bit of information. Okami went ahead and said, rumor, Modern Warfare 2 to feature gun jamming mechanics, advanced gore system, and moral compass in story mode. The game will also supposedly feature a PT-like game mode that will replace Spec Ops. Now, half of this information, I'm sure you guys don't even know what it means. So, like I said in this video, I'm going to go ahead and break it all down to make it a little bit more understandable for each and every one of you guys. But like I said, let's go hit up Ralph's Twitter page and now, like I said, get in more detail. Now, first and foremost, the weapon jam feature. Now, honestly, I think this is actually pretty darn cool. But the number one thing that I am most worried about is this feature going to be implemented into multiplayer. You see, multiplayer is already having a rough enough time capturing its identity. The last thing I need in a fast-paced arcade-style game is for my gun to jam in between every other gunfight. That just adds such a random factor to each engagement that more people will be encouraged to camp than obviously rush and play OBJ because of the fear of their guns jamming on them. But luckily, according to Ralph here, this feature will only be featured in realism and campaign. He goes ahead and says, weapon jam animation. Within combat, there are moments where a player's weapon will jam, causing the operator to jerk the bolt, thus expending the wasted bullet, though you are able to retrieve the wasted bullet, exclusive to realism and campaign. Thank God, I knew Infinity Ward, or any development team to be exact, wouldn't add something so RNG into a arcadey shooter. But you should never push it past them. I've seen crazier things done in the past. But this is awesome, because I, for one, had a lot of fun in realism mode in Modern Warfare 2019, and I think it's one of the most underrated modes in the game. It was like hardcore, but not hardcore. If you shot someone in the body, they had regular core health, but headshots no matter what weapon were a one-tap. So for once in Call of Duty history, they added in a mode that rewarded people who actually knew how to aim. And on top of that, they had nighttime mode as well with the night vision goggle. Like, it was so freaking badass. But of course, the mode died at launch. I've always said that mode had so much potential, And hopefully, with the next Modern Warfare, they can bring that potential times 10. Who knows what other realistic features they could bring in, specifically, obviously, for the realism mode, and not for the core experience. Honestly, it's endless. Like I said, night vision goggles, along with realistic weapon animations, and, jams and stuff like that. It could really add for a cool, badass realism game mode that I think a lot of hardcore players might truly enjoy. Next up is the advanced gore system, which all I can say is yes, please. I have always been a fan of gore in my FPS games. Shoot, one of my favorite games of all time is Gears of War. I mean, I love it not just because it has cool gameplay, but because of the gore. Modern Warfare did a great job with adding in new gore features, and so did Cold War. And I gotta say, Vanguard's gore system is hands down next gen, in my opinion. Next gen. It is definitely neck to neck with World at War's gore, and that is phenomenal. But what they are doing here is going to add so much more immersion to the experience. This is what Ralph has to say about it. Realistic gore, basically depending on the caliber in your weapon, determines what limbs you take off on enemies. Also, combatants will lose limbs, often remaining conscious, squirming and screaming. They'll also put pressure on wounds in an attempt to stop the bleeding. He also goes on to say, death animations. If any enemy combatant is shot, they will not die immediately. Depending on where they've been wounded, they'll beg for their lives, insult you, call out for their mothers, hallucinate, gurgle, moan, groan, death rattle, convulsions. This is just outstanding. And I know, it sounds completely messed up. But this adds the horror vibe that I have been begging for so long. Vibes that have never been introduced since World at War. I'm assuming because obviously it got plenty of backlash because it was really gruesome. But things like this show the true horrors of war, and instead of running around like you're in unicorn wonderland, it actually makes you feel like you're in the war, like you're in the shit. You know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with these real problems that these soldiers actually have to go through on a day-to-day basis. It puts fear in your heart, which I gotta say, that fear works perfectly with Call of Duty, seen previously in World at War, because it's not like a horror game fear where it almost scares you enough to where you don't want to move, camp, play like a wuss. No, it adds in enough fear into the Call of Duty title that you feel the vibes of the real-life war situations, but, it's Call of Duty. It's an action-packed arcade shooter. You're still running and gunning and having a good time. But the immersion of the players and the way that the AI, not the AI, but the ragdolls, I guess I should say, react to the environment and what happens to them really changes everything about a shooter. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried out Insurgency Sandstorm, please, for the love of God, try it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's basically a milsim or a tac shooter, if you want to say anything like that. It's phenomenal. And I'm telling you, just the way that the characters react to things, it's not as clean, but it definitely adds vibes to the whole overall experience. And to think an indie development team made that game. Imagine a AAA budget Call of Duty title that has millions and billions of dollars back behind it. Imagine how their animations are going to look. I mean, I can't wait to see what it looks like. And of course, I saved the best thing for last. I know I should touch on the moral compass, but it's basically the same thing as Cold War. Certain things that you do in the game will change the outcome of the story mode. But the real juicy stuff that I want to talk about is the new PT-like feature. Now, at first I was thinking, what the hell is PT? But after doing some research through the comment section of this tweet, basically it stands for Player Teaser, which was directed by Kojima. So it's not really anything that I knew too much about, but basically to summarize it, it was supposed to be the next big Silent Hill game, which is a horror game that's supposed to resemble small hallways, tight corners, close quarter combat, areas and stuff like that. Almost sounds exactly like my favorite mission in the whole wide world. Clean House from Modern Warfare 2019. The mission, if you guys don't know, where you and your squad quietly enter a building and take out all the enemies inside, going through basically close quarter situations. Since day one, I was saying this mission could have easily been turned straight into a multiplayer experience. I was basically begging Infinity Ward to do it, but I'm guessing that would have been a ton of work, especially coding those small-ass halls to handle 3 to 4 players, maybe even more with all the different connections. It will be a nightmare without being tested for an extremely long time, which obviously they didn't know Clean House would be a popular map or mission until after the game releases. But in the leaks, apparently Spec Ops will be replaced with this mode, which I am completely fine with. This, to me personally, is a dream come true. I was saying in my previous Modern Warfare videos years ago that they should have added multiple different buildings and structures to this mission, added more missions like finding explosives or finding hostages and stuff like that, and then you and a few friends had to sweep through these tight areas, make sure not to kill any pedestrians being used as cover, kill pets or animals, etc., and finish the mission in record time to compete for high scores. For once, I'm actually excited for a Spec Ops experience. After Modern Warfare 3, it seemed like Infinity Ward couldn't figure out their unique thing. You know, Treyarch established zombies very early on, then Sledgehammer kind of piggybacked off of that idea, and Infinity Ward was left pondering between co-op, aliens from Ghost, zombies from Infinite Warfare, and obviously they tried co-op again in Modern Warfare 2019, which completely flopped. But I think this right here is the perfect spot for Infinity Ward to land. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish off the video there. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord. Both those links are down in the description. And also, want to catch me live stream some video games that are over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.